Hey you guys, since March is finally here and February, which may have been the longest month ever, is finally over, I thought I would take a few minutes and talk to you guys about my favorite things in February. Have a list, because that's what I do, is make a bunch of lists. But I didn't get a lot of books read. I did a lot of rereading in February. But I read The Archived, which was new, and this is just the cover flap because the book is loaned out. But I read The Archived by Victoria Schwab, and it was fantastic. Just kind of a different kind of take on kind of a... It's not really paranormal per se. I went to a book signing that she did, and I feel like they called it like an afterlife thriller, which is a fantastic name for that kind of genre. It's kind of similar to, if any of you guys watch Doctor Who, the episodes in the library which have the Vashna Nerada in it. Vishna Nerada, Vashna Nerada. Yeah, that one. Anyway, so it's kind of similar to that, where the main character is kind of like a Ghostbuster kind of person, and the Archived is a giant library where your life is cataloged after you die, and some of those histories, which is what the bodies, or the, not really bodies, but what the memories are called, get loose, and then the main character has to go and take them. It was really good and really interesting. It's part of a series, but at the end of the first book, that entire storyline is completely ended and taken care of. So that was really fun. No really huge cliffhangers, and I really enjoyed that. Also, speaking of The Archived, I went to a book signing for that in Asheville, North Carolina with our friend Katie, and Asheville, North Carolina is my second favorite thing of February. And that was like the 2nd of February or something. It was the very first weekend in February that we went, and I got there and it was just like, these are my people. It felt like that was exactly the kind of area that I needed to live in. It's kind of like laid back, and there's a lot of just different, they were like 8 bookstores, like all indie bookstores in the town, and you could just get out of your car. We parked our car and just walked around and walked around and walked around, and we went in, like, there were all of these different types of restaurants and just like funky little stores that you could go in and you could look at, and there was like an art gallery slash market that had like all of the artwork that individual crafters made was displayed, but then you could buy their wares. It was just so nice, and it's the kind of place that I always imagined my hometown could be if they didn't self-sabotage, and I loved it. I had so much fun, and actually Katie and I are planning to go back for her bachelorette party with a group of our friends, and then to an event in September that we think is going to happen there. So it was such a huge, like, a great place. It's 3 hours away. Well, 2.5, 3 hours away from where I live. And I would go, like, every weekend if I had the money and a house there that I didn't have to pay for a hotel. So if you live anywhere close to Asheville, North Carolina, I would totally recommend that you go there and check it out if you haven't. Like, there's a huge, like, the Biltmore, which is like a huge plantation house that's a museum now. But, so Asheville, second favorite thing of February. That's how March has gone already, that I'm like, this was November. This has been the longest year ever, and we're just in the 3rd month. So that's looking great for 2013. My third favorite thing, though, are indie bookstores. Specifically, like, they're always my favorite thing. I don't have an indie anywhere really close to me that I can shop at. So I do a lot of online ordering through various indie stores. And Malaprops, which is where my Victoria Schwab signing was in Asheville, North Carolina, was such a fantastic little place. So indie bookstores are my third favorite. I also bought Maureen Johnson's new book. I have the cover of it too. The Madness Underneath came out this month, and I actually ended up purchasing 3 copies from 3 different indie stores. So in the month of February, I made purchases through 4 independent bookstores, 4 separate independent bookstores. So indies, third favorite thing. My fourth favorite thing is, like, I kind of go back and forth with nails and, like, my fingernails and fingernail polish, and sometimes I like really trendy colors, and sometimes I like try to do elaborate nail art, and sometimes I don't do anything except for gnaw them off. But this month, I've just kind of been a fan of just really simple, classic nails. This is a weird color. It's kind of like the color of terracotta pots that Alyssa got me. But I've had either like just straight red or like this kind of orangey color, which is more trendy, but just a straight polish all month. I haven't done anything. So just classic, simple nails has been huge. Like nothing super trendy or anything like that. Fifth is Beautiful Creatures, which was a reread that I did this month, but was also a movie that came out. And I keep meaning to do a review of it, but I watched it the first time with my dad. We went to the movies to see it, and I was like, I need to see this again before I can do, like, an actual review. It was really good if you like supernatural type stuff, if you like things set in the South, if you like teen romance. It's a good thing to watch, but I didn't want to be like, do a review that just was like, this is so good. I wanted to actually have some stuff to say, and I'm going to have to watch it a second time before I can do that. It'll be at our movie theater for like 2 months, though, because it's a huge seller. So, hopefully Katie and I are going to go see that sometime soon. Have a lot of movie dates in March planned, so maybe you'll get some movie reviews. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. You don't know. Who knows? But I read the book and I watched the movie, and they were really interesting, and I enjoyed them a lot. My next favorite thing is this company called Vault, and they make tinted chapstick. And I bought these. I had a special code where I got half off my first order, but I forgot to use it, so I ended up paying a ton of money for this stuff. But they're kind of pricey. They're $9 each. But they're in this funky little tube where there's a cap, and you press up, and then you can twist to get more or less. And then there's a release button on the side. They're specifically marketed to, like, winter athletes. Not the tinted chapstick, but they have just regular chapstick. It was originally marketed to, like I said, to winter athletes, so that you don't have to do anything. But I work in a school building, so anything that takes away me having to put my hands anywhere near stuff that goes on my mouth is really nice. And they're just the perfect amount of tint. I got like a pink one and 2 of these kind of rust type colored ones and a red one, and even the red is like sheer, but they stay for a long time. The chapstick itself, it doesn't feel gummy. It's just like the perfect kind of chapstick on your lip, but it adds just a little bit of color. And tinted chapsticks are one of my favorite makeup type things to have, especially if you're traveling or going to any kind of conference or meetings, because meeting centers, a lot of times your lips get super chapped. If it's really dry, I have a lot of trouble, like my mouth will get super dry, my lips feel like they're really tight. So having a tinted chapstick is good because nothing's gummy, nothing's gooey, and it helps keep everything hydrated. So I was a huge fan, and I will link this web store in the doobly-doo so that you guys can check them out. Another huge TV show thing that started this month that I was a huge fan of is The Face. It's similar to America's Next Top Model, which is one of my guilty pleasure shows, kind of. But it's kind of a lot more interesting than America's Next Top Model. Nigel Barker is the host, and I adore him. And then it has Coco Rocha, and there are 2 squirrels fighting outside of my window. Sorry, I was distracted. Coco Rocha, Naomi Campbell, and Karolina Krakova, are like judges. They have teams of models that compete in a photo shoot, and then one model goes home every month. It's super, like, I don't know. I'm just intrigued by the modeling industry. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with it, and I like those kind of shows that give you kind of an insider view of them. So if you like America's Next Top Model or reality shows, I would totally recommend The Face. I also bought the Lumineers album this month and have listened to it practically nonstop. So it's just called The Lumineers is the title of it. And they won a Grammy for like Best New Recording Artist or something for that Ho Hey song. And I've seen a lot of covers of that on YouTube. But the rest of the album is really solid. And actually, my favorite, like Ho Hey is maybe one of my least favorite songs on that album. And it is amazing. So if you guys like kind of that like indie folk style music, the Lumineers album, or even if you're just looking for something different than, you know, all of the super poppy stuff that's out right now, I would really recommend the Lumineers new album. I also, much to Alyssa's amusement, in February I purchased a bunch of scarves and have been wearing them pretty regularly for a long time. I really resisted that whole trend I didn't really feel like it was super flattering for me to wear scarves, but so they had a ton of really cute ones at Walmart for really cheap this year, and I just got a couple, and now I'm totally addicted, and Alyssa makes fun of me all the time. And my number 10 favorite thing this month is kind of sappy, but I kind of have struggled through February a little bit, and March has kind of been rocky too so far. Missed a lot of work for snow days, and I've been sick a lot. I felt like I don't have much of an attention span, so one reason I haven't made a lot of videos. And Alyssa has really probably taken the brunt of most of my sad clown days, and she's been really good about dealing with that. So have the rest of my family and friends, but Alyssa and I are in contact almost constantly throughout the day and the week and the month, and when we see each other, and there's been a lot of ranting on my part and a lot of just patient listening on hers, and sometimes it's really easy to take advantage of your friends or to not appreciate them to their fullest extent, and that's never the case with her. But this past month especially, February wasn't really easy for her either, and a lot of times I felt like she put her stuff aside to listen to my stuff and to help me deal with my stuff. So, she's always my favorite thing, but this month especially, I don't know how I would have gotten through February without having her around. So, on that sappy note, if you guys have any favorites, feel free. Alyssa posted favorites yesterday, so link them below. Leave them as a video response. Leave us a comment telling us if any of my favorite things were your favorite things, or if you are interested in trying any of my favorite things. I hope you guys have a good had a good February and have a great March, and hopefully I will see you more frequently this month. Bye!